Hey guys, Andrew Berg here. So this is part 3 in my Writing for Jazz Saxophone section series. In this video, we're going to be talking about drop 2/4 voicing. Before we get into it, if you haven't watched part 1 on block voicing, please do that first because they're directly related. Alright, on to the video. Okay, so as you can see, we have the basic melody of Pop Goes the Weasel again. And I already filled in the chords just to get us started off. Okay, but first let's go through the chords, make sure we understand what the chords are and how block voicing differs from drop 2 voicing and drop 2/4 voicing. Okay, so first thing we're going to start off with is going through each of the chords. For A minor 7, the 1 of the chord, the root, is A, followed by C, which is the 3rd, E, that is the 5th, and G is the 7th. For D7, we have D, F sharp, A, and C. And for G major 7, we have G, B, D, and F sharp. Okay, so let's kind of review block voicing really quick. So as you can see, we have the G in the melody line, and then each note below it is going to be the next closest chord tone. So we have G on the top, which is the 7th, then we have E, the 5th, C, the 3rd, A, the root, and then the bottom note is always going to be a double of the top note, just an octave lower. So in this situation, we have G, E, C, A, and G. Okay, drop 2 voicing, which was in part 2, we found out that basically all we have to do that's different from block voicing is we drop the second note down, we drop that down an octave. So in this situation, the second note down is the E, the second voice. Drop it down an octave and put that in the bottom voice right there. Drop 2/4 voicing is very similar. Basically, we're going to be dropping the 2nd and the 4th voices down an octave. So that would be the E and the A right here. So as you can see, we have G, we skip the E, that's down an octave right there. Then we have the C, we skip the A, that's down the octave, and then the G. Now, as far as writing it out like this goes, it's not a very big difference. But when we're putting it for a saxophone section, it really changes the range a lot that we're dealing with. Drop 2/4 voicing is a much more open voicing than block voicing is, which is very close. There's very little gap between these notes at all. Whereas drop 2/4 voicing, everything is spread out pretty well. There's a couple fifths in here, and it's just a lot more spread out. So it gives a lot more open sound. Okay, let's actually arrange this now. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is copy and paste this down to each line. Okay, so we're going to go through the same way we have in the last couple of videos. So start off with the melody line right here. That one we're not going to change. Now, since we have drop 2/4 voicing, we have to figure out which part it is that we're going to have an octave lower than the melody line. And if we go over to here, it would be the 3rd one down right there. So that G right there is the 3rd part down, which would be the tenor 1. So this tenor 1 part, we're going to do this. Immediately drop it down the octave. Now that one's taken care of. Okay, so this part's done. Now we're going to go note by note through each of these and make sure that we are building down the chord from this top melody line. Okay, so for the alto 2 part, it's not going to be down to the E. We're going to be skipping E, and we're going to go down to the C. So, bring it down to there. And now this part is already taken care of. So then this E that we skipped right here is actually going to go down to the tenor 2 part now. Alright, so take this G, and we'll drop it down to the E, like that. We'll also drop it down an octave as well. Alright, now the 4th voicing down is what's going to be in the bari sax, just an octave lower. So again, if we go over to here, we had G, E, C, A, and G. The 4th voicing down is the A, which we put down in the bottom part, which is similar to the bari. So this one right here is going to go down to an A. All right, there we go. Okay, on to the next note. Next note we have is an A. So the next chord tone down is a G. We're going to skip the G and have this go down to an E. All right, this part is already taken care of. So now that G that we skipped is actually going to go right here. Drop that down to a G, and then drop it an octave. And then the 4th part down, so we had A, G, E, C will be the next note down. go ahead and take this and bring it down to C, and then drop it an octave. Okay, this D7 chord is a little bit trickier. So for this one, this B right here is the 13 of the chord. So the next chord tone down would be A, then F sharp, then D, then C. Okay, so this one is not going to go down to the A, it's going down to the F sharp. And since these two notes are the same, we're just going to chain it both at the same time. All right, and then this part right here is already taken care of, although we might come back to that. I'll show you why in a second. Okay, so this one right here is going to be on the A, drop it down an octave. So this right here is going to go down to the D. All right, now let's go, actually, so let's look at this note right here. So right now, this doubles the melody line. But since it's a 13, and we don't have the 7th anywhere in this, let's change it to the 7th instead. Now we have the D, F sharp, A, and C with the B on top. So now we have the full chord in there, and we still have the 13 on top. Okay, so now if we're going off of D, the next chord tone down is C, then A, then F sharp, and then D again. So we're going to skip the C, bring this down to an A, and then this one, the C that was skipped, so we're going to C, drop it an octave. That means that this one's going to be the F sharp. All right, cool. Here, the G is the 11th. So we're going to go down to the next note down, would be an F sharp. We're going to skip that, move this down to a D instead, which means the F sharp will go right here. And then we'd have G, F sharp, D, C would be the next note. So this right here is going to go down to a C. Okay, and then because, again, this is not a chord tone, this is the 11th of the chord, which is not the 1, 3, 5, or 7 of D7. So we'll figure out which note we're missing. So I see we have D, F sharp, and C, because we're missing A. So this one right here, we'll just move up to the A. Okay, now we have this D right here. So this will be the same basically as this guy right here. So that means this can move down to the A. This one can move down to a C, down an octave. And this one right here is going to go ahead and move to D, down an octave. Sorry, the F sharp, down an octave. Okay, last note. So we have G right here. The next chord tone down will be F sharp. We'll go ahead and skip that. Bring this to a D. This one's going to be the F sharp, down the octave. And this last note we're going to have is going to be the B. All right, great. The last thing I want to do real quick, just because these parts look awfully low, so I want to make sure that we put it back on the transpose score and make sure that all the parts look right for the instrumentalists playing them. Okay, and this is all a good range. It's actually a much more realistic range than the other ones we've been doing, probably. Get that low tenor sound and low bari sound while still keeping it high on the lead alto. Perfect for filling out a saxophone section. All right, let's go ahead and listen to it. All right, cool. Sounds good to me. Thanks for watching. My name is Andrew Berg, and if you like this video and want to see the rest of the videos in the series, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you get notified the next time I post. One last thing. Practice.